Lust Corrupts, Part 5. All is found out, and this is the point of no return. SOF 629. When Haram had refreshed himself, he left Namen, who was weary and weighed down with age and sorrow, and prepared to return to his flocks. In his grief, because of the death of Asu, he could find solace nowhere, except perhaps in the familiar solitude among his sheep. But the wife of Namen said, "Let me walk with you a little way, for I too suffer, and yet must seek herbs which are needed and not easy to find." When they had gone some distance, she said, "I go this way. Will you not accompany me and humor an old woman who may need your aid?" SOF 630. Haram did so, for the woman was even as his own mother. Though he could not understand her strange manner, she brought him to a place in a hollow enclosed by thickets, and lo, there was Asu! When the embraces and the greetings were over, and the explanations given, the wife of Namen said, "Here you cannot remain. There are clothes and food, and no pursuers will follow the maiden, and none will query your departure. Go this night, taking thought for nothing here, for you are young with a lifetime of joy before you, after the pangs of parting have passed." SOF 631. Haram said, "No gladness, no joy can ever surpass what I now feel. Yet this thing increases a burden already upon me, and is less simple than it appears. For this you must know, I have taken the treasures of Egypt, and hidden them in a place where no man can find them. Who would suspect me, if I went about my task without change, a shepherd with no thought beyond his sheep and flute? The cry may be raised even now, though I think another day will pass first. Then who could trace the passage of every man who has departed, even though pursuit is made in all directions? Why did you not tell me of your plot?" Fate offers him the treasure of his spirit. Will he even now turn and embrace the treasure of his heart, or the lust for physical things? SOF 632. The wife of Namen said, "How could you be told of something which might not have been, or which you might have betrayed by glance or bearing? We too thought you no more than a simple shepherd with no thought beyond flute playing, except love. What now? Will you flee with the maiden and abandon the treasures? Or shall she flee alone, for she is committed to flight?" Wishing that he had known, Hiram complains. If only he knew, maybe he wouldn't have stolen. Blaming others when the fact is, stealing was always wrong. Truly he was too lost and not able to blame himself. He thought he could never have Asu, so instead he went after the thing that he was certain he could get of his own efforts. He wanted certainty of gain, and now he complains because he has both, and wants both, won't give either up. SOF 633. Haram said, "I cannot abandon love for treasure, but neither can I abandon this treasure for life, or let it corrupt. Therefore let Asu, the maiden, disguise herself, and together we will depart to a safe place without the treasure, none suspecting. She still lives. Then in the fullness of time I will return and recover the treasure, for no man can discover its hiding place. However, I will not depart in haste, but wait and bid Namen farewell, and go in the fullness of time." SOF 634. Haram left Asu and returned with the wife of Namen. Coming unto Namen, Haram told him he had a vision, such as no man could disregard, and must go to the land of his fathers, but would return before the coming again of the season. That night a great cry went up among the temples, and in the light of the morning men came and questioned Namen and those with him, but found them simple shepherds. SOF 635. Haram departed, taking the ass of Namen, and with him went the wife of Namen. They were joined by Asu, cloaked as a beggar girl, who earned her food by ungainly dancing, whose face was unwashed and clothes unclean. They accompanied men who hunted for the stolen treasures, and their possessions were open before the eyes of all men. After 7 days, the wife of Namin returned. I find Hiram's ability of self-delusion sad. He wants both, and he uses the claim that having hidden it, he couldn't give it up or let it lie hidden, a risk corrupting it. The wife of Namin offers a choice, but instead he chooses to try and have both. This was his moment to turn away, and he was too far gone to realize.